Look at these guys. Thank you. Sit down, everybody. We'll have a little fun today. You know, we just did the big television thing downstairs. So they said, could you come up and say hello to a few friends? And I would love to do that. And we're going to have a little fun. We'll do some question and answers. And then I'll get back on the plane. I hate to leave Iowa. You know, I hate to leave. Can I stay? Can I stay at your house? Huh? We've had a great relationship with Iowa. We've had a lot of fun. I've been here a lot. I've made so many new friends, and it's been tremendous people, hardworking people. They love working. They love money, right? They love money coming out, but they really like the work, and they're proud of their country. And I was telling somebody, like me, they love our country, and they want to see it really happen. And lots of problems we have, but we're going to straighten it out. We're going to make it so great. We're going to make it great again. You know, what I say is, you're like your hat. That says very distinctly, right? Stand up. Let me see. Look at that hat. Make America great again, right? That's right. So we've had a very interesting time over the last couple of weeks. We did 60 Minutes. I did 60 Minutes not so long ago. You saw that. Then last week, Saturday Night Live. I don't know if anybody saw that. And got much, much, much higher ratings than Hillary Clinton. That's nice, right? So that was good. But I mean, not even close. So that was good. Actually, one of the highest ratings they've had in years. And it was really a lot of fun doing it. What I think I'm going to talk about a little bit, because downstairs, some of you were probably at the television show downstairs. And what I want to talk a little bit about is what's going on with respect to the border and illegal immigration. And then we'll do some questions, and I look forward to doing that, actually. But we have to create a border, and we have to have a border. And if we don't have a border, we don't have a country, folks. I mean, we don't have a country. And people are coming in, and they're coming in illegally. And the Border Patrol, who I've really gotten to know a lot of the Border Patrol people, they're fantastic. I was in Laredo, Texas, not so long ago, and they are tremendous people, but they're told to stand down. Literally use that term, very military term, but they're told to stand down. And they want to do their job, and they can't do their job. They're not allowed to do their job. Now, as you know, an executive order was signed, and shockingly, we actually just won in court. Can you believe that? I mean, it was challenged, and we won in court, and because we won in court, that order is so far going to be out. Now, they'll probably appeal it. Maybe they'll appeal it. I think they have to probably appeal it. But President Obama signed an executive order that basically said everybody just pour right into our country, pour right in. And no other country does that. If you look at Mexico, it's impossible to become a citizen of Mexico. If anybody in this room, including me, want to become a citizen of Mexico, you can't do it. It's almost impossible. One of the hardest countries in the world. And yet Mexico, who I love the people of Mexico. I have many, many people from Mexico working for me. I have over the years, tens of thousands of people I've hired for jobs. One thing I say, I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. That's one thing I can tell you, 100%. There won't be a jobs president. There won't be a jobs president. I mean, I understand. We're losing our jobs. They're being taken away. We were talking about what happened right here with Maytag, where they took it right to Mexico, and 4,000 jobs were lost instantaneously. It wasn't even like over a period of time. It was like all of a sudden you lose 4,000 jobs. Many of you folks worked for Maytag and did a great job. You know, the image of Maytag was great. It was great. Now, I don't know what happened to it. You don't even hear about it anymore. I don't know. Whatever happened to Maytag? Tell me. Does anyone know? It just disappeared. It went to Mexico. I think it disappeared. I used to buy a lot of Maytag products. I buy a lot of John Deere products, which is a great company. We can't let that happen to John Deere. It won't happen to John Deere. It won't happen. But I buy a lot of John Deere, millions and millions of dollars worth of John Deere. And I like to buy when I can. I like to buy here. If you look at what's happening, though, with, as an example, Japan, they make Komatsu. And I tell the story of a friend of mine who's in the excavation business, big excavator. That's what he does. He digs. And he uses a lot of excavation equipment. He's always bought Caterpillar. And then recently he was very upset because he bought Komatsu. And it's fine. It's okay. It's not as good, but it's fine. And he was very, very upset and depressed, actually, over that, because all his life he was buying Caterpillar. And he said to me, he said, you know, it's really sad. They've so devalued their currency that he owes it to his family, to his wife, to his employees, to his company to buy, something for a much lower. He said, I would have paid more, but this was ridiculous. And then you see what's happening with Caterpillar stock. It's going down, and they're getting hurt by many other companies that are outside of this country where they play games with the currency, they manipulate the currency, and they make it very, very hard for our companies to compete. So I just want to tell you that the people here are so spectacular, and I know all about Maytag, and I know, in fact, I guess a couple of you, is Dave here? Are they here? Because a couple of the folks from the area with 60 Minutes, and where's my Domino's pizza, by the way? Where is it? Where is Domino's? Where's the king of Domino's? He's in here someplace. He's making me pizza for the plane. Can you believe it? It's great. No, but I helped some of the folks out because I watched that 60-minute piece, which was catastrophic. But it was, I liked my piece much better. I thought it was very sad what happened. And that was when the whole event took place and what happened to the area. And I helped a lot of people in the town when I saw that because I felt badly. I didn't know I was going to be running for political office. I didn't know that someday, years later, I'd be here talking to the same people. But they always kept in touch, and we actually were using for our advertising, we have a great printer. Where's my printer? Is he here? Tana, is he here? Where is he? My printer. He's done a great job with all of my advertising. Where's Dave? Well, he heard me before. He's probably out of here. You know, he's downstairs. No, he's probably printing our goods. We're doing a...
I'm his dad.
Oh, does he like me? Does he like me? You better. You're his dad. You're better looking than him. No, look at this guy. He looks much better. No, but you got a great boy, right? You have a great boy. But we use him. He's doing a lot of our work for us now. And, you know, we wanted to steer it that way. I don't know. Maybe he's giving us a bad price. Who the hell knows? Right? I don't know. But he's a good boy, and he's doing a good job, and I'm proud of him. But I'm proud of the other folks because you had Domino. Come here, come here. Look at your father. Look what he looks like. Look how handsome he is, huh? He said you look like your mom. Huh? So, good job. Do you want to say something to the folks? Say something, Dave. Come on.
Glad to. Thank you. I just want to tell you guys how awesome this is. Everybody, I'm sure, has seen the 60 Minutes piece from 5 years ago. That Monday morning, well, that Sunday night, my cell phone blew up with everybody calling me and texting me. That Monday morning, I had so many calls from so many friends. I had from customers, from suppliers, from competitors, and I got one special call from Mr. Trump. But I did not get one call from one politician, not from the city of Newton, not from the county, not from the state, not a U.S. senator, not a U.S. congressman. Nobody took 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 seconds to pick up a phone and give me a call. They could have done it, hell, they could have done it for a photo op, for God's sakes. It was 2 days before the election. But Mr. Trump, out of the goodness of his heart, asked what he could do to help us. And a couple of weeks later, we're in a hotel in Chicago. We're doing business with him. He promised if he ever ran for president, which I really never thought would happen, I can't figure out why.
5 years ago.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't need another job. He doesn't need a pay raise. He doesn't need anything else to do. I'm sure he's got plenty to do. So when I drove up to Des Moines a couple of months ago and I spoke, I said, you know, maybe it's this simple. Maybe he just wants to help make America great again.
Yeah. Right on.
And I'll tell you one of the ways to help make America great again is everything that we have done. If you're wearing a product from Maxim Advertising tonight, and a lot of you are, you'll look in there and you'll see the label and you'll see made in the USA. You'll see it on these buttons are made in the USA, those shirts are made in the USA. Everything we do is made here in the USA. And that's the way we put America back to work again. And we do it one job at a time. And people like Mr. Trump are going to make it happen. And I know he's going to make it happen. I pray to God that he is the next president of the United States so we can help make America great again.
Thank you. So nice. Well, you know, he also produced because ultimately if he doesn't produce, can't use him, right? You've got to produce. But I'd say, you're fired, Dave. Get out of here. But he produced, and so did a couple of other people in the area. And I'll let you know about the pizza later, because we helped out there, and I'll tell you, I hear it's very good. So I'll let you know. If I don't like it, I'll let you know. But, one of the things I'm just thinking as Dave was speaking, there used to be a time when it said made in America, right? Or made in the USA. That was like a status symbol. That was a great thing. And remember when it said made in Japan, it was always considered to be a cheap product, right? It was always considered to be like not good. And you don't see made in the USA. You don't see those labels anymore. Made in America, made in the USA. You don't see them anymore. We used to see them. But when they said made in Japan, it was incredible. My daughter was telling me, Ivanka, we all know Ivanka. She's great. And she was in Czechoslovakia because relatives. And she said, when she was a little girl growing up and she'd go there for the summer, the people used to put a dollar bill. It didn't matter what it was just $1, and they used to attach it. The people from Czechoslovakia, smart people, tough people, make the most incredible glassware. I mean, they're very talented people. They used to they used to take a dollar bill and they'd put it on the windshield and they'd scotch tape it onto the windshield, and they were so proud to have that dollar bill on their car. And they were proud to say that, wow, that's something that was, it's a dollar, but it was from the United States, and they all had it. And you don't see that anymore, and that's what we need. We need spirit. One of the questions was talking about how do we get people in to go to the schools, go to the different colleges, go to the junior colleges. The head of the college was here, a great guy. And, they feel so beaten. The country doesn't have spirit anymore. In all fairness to Obama, I thought he'd be good for spiritizing. I wasn't sure he was going to be good for something. And I wish he was. I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative person. And I'd still like to see him do a great job as president. Now it's too late. It's sort of over. He's going to have to get going fast, right? So it's not going to happen. But you know what? I thought he would always be good for as a cheerleader for the country, which is a very important part for being president, in my opinion. I think it's a very, very important part of being president. When you look at what's going on with ISIS, I have some very good internet people with me, and they actually came here because we're going someplace else that we're doing some crazy deal. And I have some very talented people. And I said, the internet is being used by ISIS to recruit. And what they're doing is they're essentially salesmen. I mean, they're taking our youth. They're taking people, and probably not even our youth, probably some older guys. I know you three are never going to go, right? You are never going. Stand up. Do you think these three are going to be recruited by ISIS? I don't think so. Turn around. Look, I don't think so. I think when ISIS gets them, we've really got problems, okay? But, they're taking our youth. And I said to myself, we're the internet people. We're the one that came up with it. Our companies came up with it. And they're outdoing us on the internet. Think of it. They have tremendous wealth. Remember, I've been saying for a long time, bomb the oil fields, stop their wealth, right? They all said, oh, that's terrible. That's so stupid to do. That's so stupid. I'm really good at this stuff. Now they're bombing the oil fields, right? Right? You notice? And I'm getting credit from some people. Most of the reporters don't, mention it. Even if they know it, they don't want to say it. But I've been saying for a long time. Now I actually took it a step further. I said, bomb the oil fields and keep the oil. They won't do that because they're not smart enough to do that. They'll bomb them, and people will start going back in, and other people will take them. But I've been saying that for a long time, and they're doing a lot of things. One of the things that I was mentioned the other day on one of the show, Morning Joe. I don't know if you ever watched, but Morning Joe's a good guy. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. And they were in the office, and they were doing the show, and somebody came up with my book that I wrote in the year 2000, prior to the World Trade Center coming down. And in the book, it was the only political book I had done, except now the new one is doing very well. But, up until this time, the only political book I ever did. And I said, Osama bin Laden, you better check him because he's a bad guy and he's making a lot of bad threats. This was 2000. And I said, you better check him because he's going to crawl under a rock and he's going to come in, he's going to get us, and you better go get him or check him. And the reason I said, I'm like a smart guy, like all of us, and I would watch this guy making these very terrible statements. So I wrote about a guy named Osama bin Laden. Who knew that he was going to knock down the World Trade Center and thousands of lives and people, by the way, beyond the 3,000 people that died. You have people that are devastated. You have families that are devastated. I see the people every year when they have a vigil. People are just devastated. They're not going to forget what happened to their sons and their daughters and their brothers and fathers and mothers, and they're never going to forget it. You know, a lot of people say time. I don't think you're going to have time. I don't think it's going to be time. So I see what happens, but I said that, and Joe Scarborough said, well, when was that written? It was 2000. Well, it was like 18 months, I guess, before the World Trade Center. He said, whoa, that's amazing. Trump said this before the World Trade Center came down. I do that stuff. That's what we need. We need somebody that knows what's happening, that has an understanding. These politicians don't have it. They don't have it. They're all talk. They're no action. All they want to do is get reelected. They don't give a damn about anybody. And they don't have the ability. They're not going to make good trade deals. They don't know what corporate inversion is, which is basically, you know, the corporations are leaving and they're dropping the jobs here and they're going to other countries. The politicians don't even, I was talking to two of them not so long ago, and I've been bringing it up big, because corporate inversion is a big problem. We're going to lose a lot of companies out of this. You know, in the old days, they'd move from New York to Florida to save tax. Now they're moving from the United States to another country, including Asia, to save tax and to get money that they can't bring into this country, because we have these tax laws that are so stupid that they don't allow it, and all of that will change if I get in, and it'll change for the positive, and we'll be getting a lot of jobs back. We'll be taking jobs back from China. We'll be taking jobs back from Mexico. Maybe we'll get Maytag back. Do you think we can get them back if they even exist? Do they exist? Where are they? But we'll be bringing a lot of jobs back, and it'll be a whole different story. But we need people that really know what they're doing. I mean, I sort of watched that. Yeah, I guess you all saw that article yesterday on Ben Carson, where one of the people that is his chief advisor and consultant said he's incapable of learning about foreign policy. He doesn't understand it. He's incapable of learning. That was on the front page of the New York Times yesterday. That's a problem. That's a problem. It's not what we need. We need, and you know, this is serious business. We can't be nice. We have to, this is very, very serious business. So I will only tell you that if I'm lucky enough, and this is such an important place, Iowa is so important, and I'll make this pledge right now. I know a lot of people are talking about moving Iowa to the middle and back of the pack, and you've been hearing it. Iowa's staying right where it is. I tell you right now, it's not moving. I give you my word. I give you my word. You're not moving. You're not moving. And if you win, by the way, boy, do I have power on that one. There's nobody gonna be telling Iowa you're gonna move back 12 weeks, right? So you're staying right where you are. But it's just been great being with you. Why don't we do a few questions, and then you folks go home and enjoy yourselves. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. You and I have seen each other 3 or 4 times since September.
Okay,
You signed my keep-off.
good,
3 days later, I showed it to Michael Oren in Chicago.
right?
And he was amazed that you signed this governor. And he gave me a Michael Oren dare.
Okay,
And the dare was, I wrote a book with a vision, a dream. I thought it was going to be for Barack Obama. I pitched it to him. He totally blew me away. That he would invite kids from all over the country on the White House grounds and ask every child in the world to root out symbolic weeds of hatred to help fulfill the vision of Martin Luther King. Last September, I even told that to Martin III in Ferguson. Totally blew me away. The dare was that I have already begun getting the Jewish community in the United States, informing them of what my dream is and communicating this dream to you. I
Okay.
think you are the ultimate cheerleader in the United States, and you can make not only America great again, you can make the planet great again.
That's very nice. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I wasn't sure. He was getting a little bit long. I was going to say, hurry up. Now I'm glad I didn't hurry him up. It was a very nice, I appreciate it very much. That's really nice. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Well, my dad is actually just for 30 years in the National Guard of the Johnson.
Good.
And
National Guard. Good. Where's your dad? Is he here?
no, he had
Okay.
to work today.
That's good. Tell him I said that's what he should be doing. That's good. Go ahead.
But the thing that I'm kind of worried about, knowing that my dad's in the National Guard, he was informed by kind of upper-range bosses and him that social media, big thing, everyone's involved in it, that, you know, military families have now been very restricted on it to where they don't want you to explore, like, where you live, anything to where I don't feel safe within the country. And just kind of with Obama, he's not doing anything about it until he started making a little bit of an effort when it pinpointed the White House with Michelle. And I just think, you know, if he was elected as president, we expect you to succeed that duty, to do everything you can. So I was wanting to know, what are your opinions on just within the week, all these Syrian refugees that we have? A couple people were just caught from ISIS. So
Yeah, no, 8 of them were caught. Very simply, we can't take them, folks. We can't take them. We can't take them. It could be a Trojan horse. I looked at the migration. I see these people coming by the hundreds of thousands, and I say, they're men. They're young men. They're strong men. They look like soldiers. I say, where are the women? Now, there's some, a little bit, but not much. And I say, where are the soldiers? What's going on? Why aren't they back fighting? You know, they're supposed to be fighting for their country. Why are they leaving? And you see this mass migration. You see the problems that Germany's having. I mean, I used to think Merkel was good. I think what's happening in Germany is horrendous. It's horrendous. The crime, the problems, these towns, these beautiful towns that never had a problem, and now you look at what's going on in the towns with all of the big problems that they're having. And I'm saying to myself, and by the way, I have a bigger heart than anybody, but we have to take care of them. I don't mind helping. Let's go to Syria. Let's build a big, safe area. There's plenty of land over there. We have land that you never saw so much land. But we build a safe area, and we help. But we have to get other people to help, too. We need Germany to help. We need other countries to help. We need the Gulf states to help. They make a fortune, and they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. They're not taking anybody. They're not spending money. It's always got to be the United States. You know, we owe $19 trillion. We don't know what we're doing. We're led by incompetent people, and we're the ones that want to lead and grab people and bring them in. We don't know who they are. They don't have paperwork. They don't have anything. We're going to have a wall. We're going to have a border. We're going to have such a strong border, and people are going to come into the country. They're going to come in illegally. It's a big thing for me. When I announced it, you know, I don't know if you know, but illegal immigration was not a big thing until I announced. When I announced, I said it strongly because I knew there were a lot of problems. And then you had beautiful Kate in San Francisco get shot in the back by a guy that's been here, you know, terrible, right? And you had so many others. You had Jamil in Los Angeles. You had the woman who was a veteran, a military veteran. She was killed, 66 years old, was raped, sodomized, and killed by an illegal immigrant. And many, many more, many, many more. It's not going to happen anymore. We're not going to let it. We're not going to be stupid anymore. We're going to build this country so great, so strong. And I say it, you know, we're going to make it better than ever before. We have a chance to make it, I think, better than ever before. We're going to get a lot of your jobs back in this area because your area got devastated. In one day, it was like gone. You lost 4,000 jobs. They went to Mexico. How does that help this country to allow that to happen? And the laws really gave, in all fairness to Maytag, they gave Maytag like the incentive to go. I guess if you're running a company, maybe it's the right thing to do. It destroyed this section. That's how I got to know you, by watching what destruction took place here when I'm watching 60 Minutes that night. So we're not going to have any. We're not going to be the stupid people anymore. We're going to be the smart people. You know, I've done really well. And one of the reasons I tell you, I mean, I've done really well. I put in papers that are monstrous. People are really impressed. You know, they were hoping that my company would be a little tiny company. When it turned out to be much bigger, right? It turned out to be much bigger, much stronger, and a tremendous company, very little debt, tremendous cash flows, all of the things that you need, great assets, among the great Doral and Miami and Turnberry and Scotland. I have great assets and really iconic. And I don't say it bragging. I say it because that's the kind of mentality, whether it's good or bad, but that's the kind of mentality we need in this country. We can't continue to be a laughingstock of the world. We lose every year with China $500 billion in terms of trade imbalance. Think of it, $500 billion. How do you recover from that? They take our jobs, they take our base, they take the manufacturing, they take our money. We're losing $500 billion a year. Last year was 400 and something. This year it's going to be, they say, 505. 505 billion. You have Japan. They don't want your beef. They don't want your beef. You know, how many times do they send it back? The farmers don't want it because they have nationalistic pride. I don't even blame them. But in terms of the cars, I was in Los Angeles a few months ago, and I watched cars pouring off the largest ships I've ever seen. Like, they're going like 50 miles an hour off these ramps into us. No tax, no nothing. And you know, it's fine, except with Japan, it's $70 billion a year of a trade imbalance with this country. So we send them practically nothing. They send us the, we have all the, see, look, if you're like me, we have all the cards, folks. We have all the cards. You know, everyone says, oh, well, it's too bad, because they're not business people. Politicians don't know. Our leaders don't know because they're incompetent. But the politicians that I'm running against, they don't even know what corporate inversion is. They don't know. They don't know. It's not their expertise. Their expertise is getting elected. That's all they can do well. They get elected. And I'm doing pretty well because I'm leading them in every poll. So I don't know. That's their expertise. That's their expertise. But we're going to change it. And you're going to be very proud of this country. You're going to be very proud again, because right now everybody's depressed. It was my answer to the man with the colleges. I said, you know, he's a great guy. He's done a great job. But we have to get spirit in this country. This country does not have spirit. And we have a tremendous unemployment. Probably it's 25%, not the 5.2 that you read about. That's nonsense. That's put there for the politicians so they look good. You have tremendous unemployment in this country, and it's a real problem. We're going to solve it. Yes, go ahead.
I think you are a great cheerleader for America.
Thank you.
I think you are good on immigration and economics. I am wondering where you stand on giving money to Planned Parenthood when they have the atrocity of selling baby parts.
Yeah, I'm against it. I'm for defunding Planned Parenthood very strongly. Okay? And that's really that's been such a big subject lately, especially when you're looking on television and you're seeing, you know, some of those clips that are terrible. So I am totally for defunding, but we shouldn't be giving to Planned Parenthood. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, you've been in Iowa long enough to know that wind energy is a big deal. We've got a lot of windmills around here. I was wondering, so our senior senator, Chuck Grassley, just introduced the wind energy
Who is, by the way, a good guy, Chuck Grassley. He really is a good guy.
He is. Wind energy production tax credit. I was wondering where you stand on that, whether you'd be in favor of that tax credit.
I'm fine with it. Look, any form of energy, we got to get away from the Middle East. I will say wind is a problem because it's very expensive to build the towers, very, very expensive. And as you know, when you have $40 oil, it's not economic. So they're going to have to do a subsidy. If they do a subsidy, otherwise wind isn't going to work. Wind is a very expensive form of energy. And it's got problems of storage and lots of other things. But I want to see whatever you can do. Ethanol, I'm totally in favor. I want to see whatever you can do we have to get away from the Middle East. Now, the good news is with the fracking, it turned out with all of the modern technology, over the last 5 years, we never realized it. We're sitting on a gold mine. And we have enough energy under our feet now to take care of us for many, many hundreds of years. So that's so great. We never knew that. 5 years ago, we had no idea. We thought we were going to be reliant on the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. We still should have kept the oil when we left Iraq, right? We should have kept the oil. We didn't do that. Our geniuses didn't do that. They said, oh, how could we do such a thing? But we are a very rich, potentially very rich country. Wind will need subsidy. It's going to have subsidy. Yes, yes, sir. The Carson campaign? He has a dear. I didn't say it. Okay. Go ahead. Now that you have a mic, say exactly what you. I didn't say it. I refuse to get in trouble. Go ahead. Tell. It's true.
My question to you is to give us more of your analysis about the Carson campaign. He's been asked some serious questions about foreign policy. He just sort of looks back with this deer in the headlights look. Is his campaign going to go into free fall now that it's been exposed how little he knows?
I think it is in free fall. I think if you look over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and maybe I helped it along by making a speech 2 weeks ago, which I thought was a really good speech. I was very proud of it. I spoke for about an hour and a half with no notes, right? Anybody there? All right? I spoke and it was a good speech, but and some people thought it was great and some people thought it was not good because they thought I was too tough, but they were the ones that only watched little snippets because, it's a web. It's like a chess game. And I talked about the Carson campaign, and I talked about it with respect. I'm just saying what he said. First of all, yesterday, as you know, in the New York Times, you saw that piece, but it's all over the place. I mean, it's all over that his and I said it before, his consultant said that he is incapable of learning foreign policy. They were exasperated. We can't have a man incapable of learning foreign policy. Can't have it. They said he was incapable of learning. That's devastating. I mean, this thing is, we love our area, our towns, our cities. We're going to be involved with foreign policy for a little while, folks. We got to get rid of that cancer out there. There's a lot of things happening, and we have to be really good and really sharp on foreign policy, or we're going to have bigger problems than we've ever had. And you understand, I think when I say that, you understand. You're the one that brought it up to me. But then you go into the book, and what I did, and I'm just going to go quickly, but, he wrote a book a while ago before he was going to run for office, and he said he suffers from pathological disease. Pathological disease is a big problem. That's not a curable disease unless you're taking medication. So he's suffering from pathological disease. And he said, he's had pathological temper, pathological disease in the same sentence. And I said, that's big. I said, do the people of Iowa know? Because the one person that's staying with me in the polls in Iowa, not elsewhere, not anymore. By the way, the new polls come out, I'm doing great. Do you know in Massachusetts, 48 for Trump, and I think it's 9, right? It's 9 or something for whoever's second, not Carson. But you know why that is? Because Tom Brady likes me. I'm telling you, Tom Brady said great things about me, so that helps. When you're in Massachusetts, if Tom Brady says good things, that helps. And he's a great guy. Tom Brady's a great guy, by the way, and he is a seriously good quarterback. Do we agree? Yes. You could use him on Iowa or Iowa State, but not doing badly, right? Boy, could you guys use him. Iowa's doing very well, and Iowa State's doing good. So anyway, but when you talk, just to finish off, so I talked about that. Then I said, he wrote about he tried to hit his mother over the head with a hammer. I said, what's that? I'll bet nobody in this room did that. But he tried to hit his mother over the head with a hammer. I said, what? And I'm seeing this. And then I see that he hit his friend in the face with a padlock, boom, really hard. And then I see that he went after another friend with a knife named Bob. But it turned out it wasn't Bob, it was another name, and now they're trying to figure out who it was. I'm telling you, folks, you got a problem there. But, the belt stopped the knife. And I actually got on the stage. I said, the belt can't stop a knife because it twists and turns. If I hit you where the belt is, that knife is going in, right? It's not stopping the belt because it's going to turn and slide. And unless you're wearing a UFC belt, unless you're wearing the Ultimate Fighter belt or a Vince McMahon belt, that one's got a pretty good chance. But you're not going to get a belt buckle stopping a knife. It's going to slide. So I went through the whole thing. And we have, it's ridiculous. And remember this, in order to have credibility, he said these things happened. So when I first heard this, I said, no, you mean he's saying it didn't happen? He said, no, he wants them to have happened. You mean he wants to be known that he went, because otherwise he loses credibility. Well, it turned out that Bob is, it's not Bob. The whole thing is a mess. And hey, folks, you have him doing pretty well in the polls, not me. But I'm glad you asked that question, because the question is, it's a strange thing that's happening. Although I do hear I'm number 1 in Iowa again. But I did lose my position for a little while, and I wasn't exactly thrilled with that, folks. I wasn't happy with it. Anyway, we've had, by the way, over the last 48 hours, actually since the last debate, because we did well in the last debate, and we've had tremendous polls come down. Really strong, really, really strong polls. We've had some 38 to 20, 38, I think there was one 42 to like 19, 18. And it was in Carson in second. It was, some other people that I'll start doing a number on them because, believe me, lightweights, you don't want to have them. You don't want to have them. So anyway, we've had some tremendous polls come down. Go ahead. Did you have a question? Go ahead.
Mr. Trump,
Yes.
you don't have to worry about me because you got me. The main reason is I am, just like what Sam was talking about, and my brother here, one of the 379,000 Iowa veterans that have served in the United States Army.
Great.
The main thing that I've done ever since I come out of the military is worked and served for veterans in my own state.
great.
And being a past senior vice commander for the Veterans of Foreign Wars Department of Iowa, when you started talking about the American veteran being treated as a third-class American citizen, I want to know, how can you really help us more and more? Because even myself, yes, the VA takes care of a lot of issues, but dental, I got Agent Orange in Vietnam. I have extracted all but 8 of my own teeth by hand.
Wow.
Because the VA will not do it. And I will have to have dentures. And this is things that
You took them out yourself.
I pulled them all out with these 2 fingers.
He's got more guts than I have.
So
He's a veteran. What can I do?
and
Wow.
that's part of life. But we need that help, and that's what I've been battling for. So how can you help change the VA healthcare
Well,
system?
and one of the reasons I think you feel the warmth is that, I've been the strongest by far toward the veterans. Our veterans are being treated in many cases worse than the illegal immigrants that are coming in. And they used to say the illegal aliens. I never even liked that because that means somebody from outer space, but they were up. Everybody was upset by that term. I like the word illegal immigrant because that's what it is. And they are treated better in many cases than our veterans. And you probably saw 3 weeks ago I put in a plan, which is a very good plan. Some of the veterans are waiting. These are people that fought for us. They've lost arms. They've lost legs. They've lost worse than that. And they can't even get to see a doctor. The waiting time in a reception room for a doctor now is the longest as of 3 months ago on a Wednesday. I remember it was a Wednesday. 3 months ago on a Wednesday is the longest in the history of the Veterans Administration. People would wait 5 or 6 days. I mean, can you imagine you or me or anybody waiting 5 or 6 days to see a doctor? And then sometimes the doctor wouldn't even care or wouldn't be there. In one case, the man said he waited 6 days, and the doctor said, "I'm sorry, I'm finished. I'm going on vacation. I'm leaving for vacation," after waiting 6 days. So we came up with a plan that I think is great, and it's practical. And it's going to actually, in my opinion, going to cost less because it's not really the money. It's that you have all, a lot of corruption, a lot of crooked stuff. What happens is if you go to the doctor's office and if you have a day wait and you can't get service, you're going to go to a private doctor or you're going to go to a hospital nearby, a public or a private, wherever. You're going to get yourself taken care of. We're going to pay the bill. It's going to be very simple. It's cheaper. It's actually going to be cheaper. But you're going to go into a private doctor or where you can get a real, good everything. And if you don't like him, you'll go to the one that you like. We're going to pay the bill. We're going to take care of it. And that's a lot cheaper than what's happening. Thousands of people, and I had no idea until a year ago, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people are dying, veterans, dying waiting for a doctor on things that could be cured with a pill, with a minor procedure. They're dying. Tens of thousands. I mean, I heard a number so high that it's almost inconceivable, like hundreds of thousands. But tens of thousands of people are dying trying to see a doctor because they can't get in on simple procedures where you can have a simple procedure and you're going to be better, where you can get a prescription and you're going to be better. They can't even get a prescription. So we're going to take care of that. We're going to make the vets proud again to be an American, okay? Okay, how about we'll take one more if it's a good one. If it's a bad one, we'll keep going until we get a good one, okay? Go ahead.
Everybody knows that Dudley's is very tired of the political landscape and the unaccountability of everything. How are you going to help us get some accountability back into the political life?
Well, we're going to get accountability. And, again, I've never been a politician. I've been a huge jobs producer. I've produced tens of thousands of jobs. I've built tremendous projects all over, big businesses and projects, mostly projects, real estate deals. And I'm proud of that. I've taken care of a lot of families. They didn't have to worry about Obamacare, which is a disaster, which we're repealing and replacing. It's a disaster. The premiums, you talk about health care. You see what's going on. The premiums, and they're going through the roof. So we are going to get people to do the right thing. And we can't elect another politician. I know these people. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I've dealt with politicians all my life. I have nothing against politicians. I said in the other room on the television interview, I said they want to get, the thing they're really good at is getting reelected. And I've dealt with them all my life. I've done very well. If you can't do well with a politician, then you shouldn't be in business, okay? I've done great with the politicians. Now I'm on the other side. I'm self-funding my campaign. I'm putting my own money in. These guys are all using these super PACs. 9 or 11 letters out. We don't want super PACs. We sent letters to these super PACs. We don't. I could have so much more money in terms of, well, I have more money than all of them anyway. I mean, but it's my money. But Bush has like $100 million. Bush. He's got all, let me tell you, he's totally controlled by the people that gave him that money. Bush. So is Rubio. Rubio's totally controlled by the people that gave him the money. Do you know yesterday Rubio was in California doing a fundraiser for himself? Instead of going in, they had a very important committee meeting for ISIS and what's going on with the whole Homeland Security thing. And Rubio was in California doing a fundraiser. He's missed more votes than anybody. His attendance is abysmal. And he wants to be, you know, if I were from Florida, I mean, this isn't your problem, but we elect this guy who's ambitious, and you elect him senator. Then he doesn't show up to vote. I'd be damn angry. And interestingly, in Florida, I'm killing him in the polls. I'm killing him. But I can understand it. If I were from Florida and I elect this guy and he's never shows up to vote because he's campaigning, and other people campaign and they go in and vote, more than him at least, but I would be very angry. But yesterday, with what just happened in Paris, he's out in California and he's raising money so that he can buy ads so that you people can see how wonderful he is, right? And he's out there raising money, and he's not going to Washington to learn about Homeland Security, and he's on one of the committees. I think it's outrageous, I'll tell you. I'm so sick and tired of politicians, and I think it's why I'm doing well. I mean, I can be more politically correct than anybody. Hey, look, I went to Ivy League school, and I was smart. It was a good student. It wasn't hard for me. You know, it was like all of the stuff. But I'll be honest with you. I think that it's now time. This whole thing with political correctness, and I always say, you don't see Merry Christmas anymore, right? Because it's not politically correct. Guess what, folks? When I win, if I win, when I win, whatever, I will tell you, we're going to all be saying Merry Christmas again. That I can tell you. We're going to be saying Merry Christmas again. Okay? So I just want to thank you all. Oh, look at this. I remember him, right? Come on.
All right. Chuck and the guys back there in the back wanted to let you guys, well, one, to thank Mr. Trump again for his time and for coming here, which we appreciate. Let you know that there are brand new, made in America,
That's beautiful.
Trump Make America Great caps again.
I got something out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Brand new buttons.
Where is that?
And
Where is
made
that?
in America
I love
right
that
here.
cap. Wow.
Yep, absolutely. That one's for you, by the way. You paid for it.
I did. That's beautiful.
And also, Mr. Trump ordered pizza in. There should be Domino's pizza out there from everybody from Scott, and Mr. Trump ordered that in. And just wanted to thank him again for his time here. We really appreciate it. And let's hope that he is the next president of the United States.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Great honor. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And there you go, folks. Donald Trump event.